guess maybe it seems like that's maybe the direction Garcia might be going actually after this fight, if he were to win. I mean, this is a big guy, but you did mention Lomachenko too. You know what I mean? A lot of people consider him top 3, at least pound for pound. He's in everyone's top 3. I mean, is that a fight that is Mikey maybe bypassing Lomachenko to go to Spence? I mean, I don't hear him talking about Lomachenko as much as I hear him talking about Spence.
No, I think, Lomachenko now with his injury, he's going to have to come back. But I think the Lomachenko fight is certainly a fight which Mikey stated publicly he's interested in as well. I think either one of those fights, the fact is there are huge fights out there for Mikey, and that's why I predicted a while ago that these records which were established by my good friend, the pound for pound, the pay-per-view king, Floyd Money Mayweather, that these records, which people say now they won't be broken, they will be broken. I think it's going to be a Mikey Garcia who is going to break them, because the fact is one guy alone can't do it, but he has a lot. He's in weight classes where there's a lot of big fights right there for him. So I do believe that within the next fight or two, that Mikey Garcia is going to break into the pay-per-view market, and I predict that Mikey Garcia will be the one who will be carrying the sport and will be carrying the pay-per-view platforms as well.
Now, Richard, can you talk about the decision making? And after Mikey's last fight, he went and captured the IBF title at 140 after defeating Lipinets. Can you talk about the decision making about coming back down to 135? Because originally he had talked about staying at 140 and vacating his WBC title at 135, and then went ahead and came back down. What was the decision making in that?
Well, Mikey is fortunate that he can really move up and down in these weight classes, and he can dominate in these weight classes, and he's very opportunistic. So he's basically going to go into the weight class where he feels he can get the biggest exposure, and where he can add to his already tremendous legacy, and being able to become a unified 135-pound world champion is certainly something which excited him more than looking for potential opportunities at 140.
Richard, we've seen Mikey fight. His last couple of fights here, we've seen him fight all over the world. Is it safe to say that this will now be his home base since he's been fighting here more often? And is this the place to cultivate him into a pay-per-view star?
Well, I read somewhere that it actually has been quite a while since Mikey fought last in Los Angeles. I don't know if I remember correctly, like 2007 or something like that. So it has been a while, but Los Angeles always had somebody who carried the sport of boxing, and the Angelino fight fans are very passionate, very knowledgeable about the sport, and you can look back 50 years or so, there was always one, sometimes two guys who carried the sport in Los Angeles. Right now, we have a void here in Los Angeles, and usually that person who carried the sport in Los Angeles really became nationally and then internationally, globally a superstar as well. And I have no doubt that Los Angeles is ready for Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is ready for Los Angeles. That's the first, what I predict, of many fights. He will be headlining at Staples Center. I think he's going to be right along there with LeBron James coming now to the Staples Center, and we are going to see Mikey Garcia now become a regular at the Staples Center as well. If it would be up to me, I like to see him fight at least once a year at Staples Center and really make that his base and his home.
I like that you're trying to make kind of LA another destination for fight, really make it another, like, it is a fight town, but a place for big fights. Like, this is a big fight for the lightweight championship of the world. What can you tell us about, like, the undercard? Are we going to have, like, I know the last undercard was good,
yes.
The war, the last main event as well. What could you tell us about the rest of this card?
Well, those who know me, they know that I always like to put together stacked cards and entertain the fight fans, and I think this is going to be no exception here. We are currently finalizing that. It looks like one of the most exciting heavyweights, I think, is going to be on the card as well. Luis King Kong Ortiz. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. Mario Barrios as well from San Antonio. So you're going to see a little bit of everything, different weight classes featured, so it's going to be an exciting night again. Tickets are as hot as the weather is here in Los Angeles. They're flying off the shelves. We had actually opened up some more sections, so I expect really a huge crowd at Staples Center. And as hot as it is in this gym here today, I can assure you on July the 28th at Staples Center, it's going to be even hotter.